Welcome to the Fuakata podcast, talking about life, art, and invulnerability, from comics to politics to philosophy. Just because a guy makes comics doesn't mean he can't kick some ass. Nothing is off limits. Here is your host, Juan Navarro.
Always remember that the one commodity that you can't fuck with, the one commodity that is finite, beyond finite, is time. There's sometimes that you're not gonna get more. And what's gone is gone. Even right now. As you're listening to this, time is going. Wait, don't turn off the podcast. But it's just, and whatever energy you put into time, and whatever time you put into things, people, projects, whatever it is, you don't get back. That being said, that's why you have to be very, very selective about where you put that energy into it. Anything. Especially people. Because sometimes you will think, that you're missing out, or you're doing something. And in the end, all it's doing is taking your fucking time. My wife and I were sitting yesterday. Yesterday. And we were just talking, and it's just funny. Like, it's almost like the internet's gotten so fucking bad that it's almost like a fad on the way out. It's like, it's starting to become this thing where we're like, okay, maybe not. Maybe we won't use this, or we won't, and I'm trying to, it's just not worth it. Now, mind you, it's still an amazing tool. I don't know how many times my Google search now is just always bad for dogs, ? Because anytime I put anything in there, like avocado seeds, bad for dogs, or cinnamon, bad for dogs, like every time, because my dog gets her nose into everything, and I'm always like, no, what'd you eat? What is that? And then I'd be like, what? And is it bad? No. Is it bad? Yes. I'm like, drop it. And so in that sense, it's always useful for a recipe that we're looking up, or something we're trying to grow in the garden, techniques, building something, and those things, when I go to use it, it's very good. The problem is when you get involved in it and it starts trying to use you. I think that's where, for a lot of us, I think that's the biggest problem. I have to admit that at least I've been very conscious of that, and I very much try to make sure my algorithm isn't full of shit, I stopped having certain things on there, I still get titties and ass, because as a younger man, yeah, of course, but after a while, I'm like, why do I have some girl shaking her ass at me? This is not inspiring me at all. It's not that I don't have even some certain friends and models that I use because of my drawing and everything else. I still follow them. There's certain cosplayers I like a lot, male and female. I have like some male like bodybuilder guys or big strong dudes that I have on my thing, which is questionable. Like, anybody looks at my feed and be like, dude, what the fuck? But at the same time, I have a lot of things on history, on making things. Recently, it's just been, what can I do with a palette? That's been a very big interest. So you can curate your algorithm so you don't have that shit. The problem is when you like anything and just whatever comes your way, like there's the not interested button on Instagram. Put that shit in there sometimes. Even in politics and everything else, like, I like to know as much as I can, but some people are just fucking off one end. And there's a couple that I follow that I don't agree with. They're pro-communist, they're pro-whatever, but I want the other side. I want to see something. And there's some good points sometimes. I don't agree with all those points, but there's some good points. So I tell you, you have to be very careful about if you're using the internet or the internet is using you. I kind of posted that on Friday, how I'm just kind of sick of it all. And what I really want is communication with people. That's what I want. I want communication. I like talking to people on there. That's to me the biggest, coolest thing. Like, if you reach out and get somebody that really can touch upon you and it's really cool, yeah, you know. But if not, why the fuck am I? Why am I really ever dealing with that person? You know. There are a couple of things in the summer I want to really get into and everything else, as far as like projects and plans and everything else. But again, using the internet as a tool for myself. It's like anything else. You use a hammer to hit a nail. The hammer doesn't use you to make an omelet. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be very, 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 very fucking careful. I think I see a lot of people, especially young people, that are driven by that. And I know some of it is manipulation. I think some of it was accidental. When we talk about like the internet meme culture and what it is, and I can tell you because I'm a generation that I remember before the internet and after the internet. And I remember the wild west of the internet when IRC channels, ICQ, AI, AOL chat rooms, that whole realm. I saw the beginning of like webcomics, of video. I remember when video was like a pipe dream. We're like, how the fuck are you gonna have video on here? And now, what is it? Now it's like photos are kind of old, you know, like the way it's set up. And we take it for granted. You know, the other day I was able to, like, my dog was doing something cute. And I was like, take a picture and I could send it to my wife right there and then. You know, I had some old high school friends of mine got back together in Miami, and my friend FaceTimed me and I was able to see all of them. So I was just like, wow, like there's just, you know, there are magical things to it. But when you have constant bullshit, and even now, look, I don't fucking like Trump for shit. He's a piece of shit from one end to another. That's, this political sphere that we're in is a fucking dark times. I'm not ignoring that. And I do what I can, when I can, how I can. But I don't need the reminder of it all the time. Why? I understand the urgency, but you're burning my brain out. And so you have to have things outside of that. If you do sit there for a long time on your phone, you know, I get it. There's times, you know, this weekend being Memorial Day, I got to sleep in a little bit, and I got up, and, you know, I woke up, but I didn't get out of bed, and I did some scrolling on my phone, you know, before waking up fully, and it's fun to kind of like catch up on some stuff and see some things and everything else. That's great. But I knew after a while, like, all right, it's been 20 minutes, get the fuck up. Like, time to go do shit, feed yourself, wash your face, all that stuff. So you always have to keep that in mind so that you're not, to have that little alarm clock in you and say, okay, enough is enough, get up. And like that and so on and so forth. Because it's just your mental health. There's a manipulation that's behind there. And motherfuckers in lab coats are working on this. They're doing it for you. They're trying to find out the next fucking way to get you to eat a certain way or do a certain thing and everything. And maybe it's not because of some big, poignant, oh man, you know, the fucking shadow council wants everybody to, you know, start sucking dick. No, it's not that. First off, if you're gonna suck dick, you're gonna suck dick. And second, like, they ain't no convincing. There's not a hypnotism. They haven't made a gay bomb yet. I used to tell a friend of mine, he was getting his PhD in chemistry. We were like, dude, you got to develop the gay bomb. That'll end all the wars. You know how many people just like, boom, everyone just starts fucking 69ing in a battlefield, and after that, it's like, you know, but it wears off, and then you're like, all like, oh my god, and we're like, we have the pictures. We'll show it to the world. You don't want the world to know this? So we just say gay bomb. You know, that would be just hilarious. But what you don't want is to be pushed into something that you're not. You're fucking not. And I see it sometimes with young people that you become vehemently arguable about anything because you saw a video. Or because you saw like a fucking small article or something. And you don't comprehend the full amount of what something is. You know, like I still have the combustion engine, diesel engine debate with electric, and it's like, you know, you start breaking down, okay, electric car, it doesn't have any, okay, maybe it wastes energy, maybe it does this, but it doesn't have all the fumes that are coming out and all the get. But I'm like, yeah, what about the power plant that powers the fucking car. You know? Meanwhile, it doesn't do half the shit, but a diesel engine and a bus does amazing fucking well for how much it can transfer and how much it can do. Like, I'm a big public transportation advocate. I really feel like it should be a push that has to happen in this country. And it might be anyway with the way things are going. There's going to be more so than less so. It's something to really fucking consider. And I know there's apps out there now that like limit your time on it or do this. But I think, and if you need to use it, use that. Fine. You know, if you want to count how many hours you're using, count that. Fine. And like I said, if you're using it effectively as a tool, fucking go for it. Don't do as much as you can. Don't limit yourself. But just be careful about the doom scrolling bullshit, dude. Just be careful how much crap there is. I have a thing sometimes. I like to have YouTube videos playing while I'm fucking drawing. And I might watch later, and it has like 4,000 fucking videos on it. And that I cut it the other day, because the limit is 5,000, and I hit the limit of 5,000 of watch later stuff. And I was like, okay, I gotta fucking cut this down, and I erased some of it. And it's a bad habit, because I'm constantly dividing my attention. And it's like a part of your brain wants to keep it, and I need that time. If you can do anything, I don't care if it's wood carving, painting, reading a book, you know, watching a fucking movie, anything, and just do that. Don't have music on. Don't have your phone open. Don't be scrolling. Don't be, you know, watching a video at the same time. Just do that. Focus on that. And even better, if you can just sit under a tree and shut the fuck up, man, you will be such a better human being because of it. Because it goes to show that you will have the ability and the wherewithal to process yourself and process what you're around. I feel like there's so much distraction, so much shit out there just to see how far they can do it. And just don't fucking have it. Use the internet. Don't let it use you. And stop buying from Amazon and all these fucking places. But that's a whole other video. I don't want to get into that. Thank you guys for listening. As always, this is the Fuacata.com. Now it is all on Substack. Fuacata.com is Substack. Substack, Fuacata.com. So it's all there. If you dig these, you dig my comics, you dig anything, please consider subscribing. You can subscribe for free and get everything, or subscribe at a premium and you'll get extra stuff. You'll get comics. If you do the Founders, $100 per year, you get 3 of my comics, a free drawing, you know, a bunch of stuff. I'm going to load a box full of shit and send it to you. So consider that a huge fucking bounty. I'm working on the 4th issue of Fuacata, and the 3rd issue is pretty much done and out. I have to rebuild my store. I have to rebuild my TeePublic, because TeePublic decided to be a dick and fuck me over. I posted about this on Instagram. I don't know what to do about that. That is what it is, and say la vie, what the fuck you can do? There's nothing I can do. All I can say is, you know, now time for other things. I'm thinking of rebuilding the big cartel for that, and maybe using that with a printify. I'm not sure. Maybe that'll give me more freedom. My problem is just there's a lot of money up front when you do that. I've done it before, and that's the reason why I stopped, because it was just a lot of money up front at times that I had to pull just to make $2 or $3. So if you guys have any ideas, any comments, let me know. I might go to Zazzle. I don't know. I have no idea. I want something that's just chill, straightforward, and I can get out there. So I'm trying. And other than that, thank you guys for listening and everything else. Thank you for the kind words last week for John and everything else. I'm trying to figure out a way to get to Miami for the funeral that's on Friday, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just from my standpoint, where I'm at right now, it's like $1,000 fucking dollars or something. So I don't know if that's even possible. I have some ins and outs. I'm going to try to see what's up, but let's see. I don't know. It's Monday, so it's Memorial Day, so you should be fucking chilling at home and everything else. But I hope you have a great week. Try to always do better. Trying is all we can do. And most of all, be good.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode and want more inspiration, insights, and updates, head over to fuakata.com. It's your one-stop hub for my art, comics, and everything creative. Let's keep building those big dreams, one small step at a time. You can also support the podcast on Patreon and/or Substack. See you there.